Happy Friday, Elgar Raiders. And guess what? We have a couple of surprises for you this Friday, but I'm going to keep those to myself for right now. But anyway, welcome back to Celebrity Court, where fame meets the law and no scandal escapes judgment. I'm your host and judge, Al Reynolds, and tonight's docket is as explosive as it's ever gotten before. We're diving head first into the legal drama of Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag, who are blaming their home's builder for the devastating wildfire that destroyed their LA mansion. Are they really pursuing justice, or are they just looking for someone to blame? And just when you thought politics couldn't get any more controversial, Donald Trump is back in the headlines with a bold proposal that could rewrite history. Yes, you heard me, rewrite history. A third term in the Oval Office. Love him or hate him, this is a debate that could change democracy as we know it. But we're just getting started. Yankees legend Mario, I'm not going to be able to say it, Mr. Rivera's spotless legacy is under fire as accusations of abuse cover-ups within his church. Yes, you heard me, within his church emerged. Is this the fall of a hero? Also, NFL Hall of Famer Warren Sapp is suing the Tampa Police Department for $20 million, alleging racial profiling during an unlawful arrest. Could this case expose deeper flaws in law enforcement, or is that just how Florida is going to be for the next 4 years? And Hollywood is bracing the impact of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds go head-to-head with Justin Baldoni in a legal battle involving harassment and defamation. When celebrity egos clash in the courtroom, the fallout is always messy, and this is leaving no one wanting more mess than this. Finally, Jay-Z, oh my goodness, yes, you heard me correctly. Jay-Z is fighting an assault lawsuit tied to an infamous moment at the 2000 MTV VMAs. With new lawyers joining the case, this decades-old drama is heating up all over again. Tonight, it's just not about what happens in the courtroom. It's about the court of public opinion, where the stakes are just as high. So let's get into it. All right, let me introduce our legal beagles. First up, joining us tonight is that fiery civil attorney, Shatan Turner. Shatan Turner, welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Thank you, Your Honor, and TJIF. I can't wait to get into these conversations.
All right. All the shit I didn't learn in law school. Author Jason Weiss, Attorney Weiss, welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm happy to be here representing the state of Florida and some stupid things going on here.
Florida never disappoints. Never.
And
guess what, everybody? Even though Christmas has passed, it's revisiting us again. We have the one, the only, yep, you heard me correctly, the Simone Redwine. Simone Redwine, welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Hey, y'all. Hey, I'm so happy to be back.
All right, don't forget, we have the for Shatan Turner, she's got the fire emoji. For Jason Weiss, the shield emoji. And don't forget, for Attorney Simone Redwine, it's that wine cup emoji. And for me, it's the fax machine. Court is now in session. All right, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, be sure to hit that invite button. Have your friends come over here and learn a little bit about the law while we break down all the gossip in Hollywood. Turn on your notifications, and as always, we love it when you jump down in the chat, and I know we're going to hear from you tonight. Before we get started, Simone Redwine has been following the ASAP Rocky trial. As you know, the jury has been selected, and from my understanding, there's not one African American on that jury. Simone Redwine, and all your insight, please tell us what is going on, and was Rihanna in the court with him?
Child. So Rihanna was allegedly in the court earlier in the day, simply when he entered his plea and declined to take the plea deal. ASAP Rocky is facing 24 years in prison. He was offered a plea deal to do only 6 months, 180 days, plus 3 years of probation and a 7-year suspended sentence. But he said, no. Instead, and the charges that he's facing, it's 2 charges of aggravated assault with a semi-automatic weapon. Baby, there is camera footage of him and the alleged victim, ASAP Relly, which was one of his former bandmates, where he pulls out a gun and he's confronting him, and then he you hear the sounds of 2 shots. Well, just days ago, for the first time, the defense presented their defense, which is it wasn't a semi-automatic; it was a prop. He got sets of one of Rihanna's music videos. Therefore, he's innocent. Well, today, a blockbuster ruling took place. I have never seen this happen before, which is that, so it was on Monday or Tuesday that the defense revealed that their defense is it wasn't a real gun. And then just today in court, the prosecution says, oh, well, just last night, we received some new evidence that had always been in our possession that we just didn't know anything about. There was some ballistics testing that was done by the state's own ballistics lab at some point in the last 4 years. That's how long this has been going on, where they went to the judge and they said, hey, the lead detective just told us to look at this report. And I don't know why, but I had never seen this report before. And so now it is crazy because the judge is going to allow them to use this brand new evidence that is supposed to link shell casings that were found to a bullet magazine that was found in ASAP Rocky's closet.
Wait a minute. When did prop guns start having shell casings?
They don't. Well, that's the whole thing. Oh, so here's the crazy part. The police didn't find these shell casings. So the guy, let me roll this back. The argument all stemmed from the fact that they have a mutual friend, ASAP Rocky, ASAP Relly, had a mutual friend who passed away. Mm-hmm. Relly, who looks broke as a joke. I mean, he looks like a poor person. He was upset because he felt that ASAP makes all this money now and forgot about the homies and should pay for this guy's funeral. Well, ASAP did. He just didn't announce it to Relly. So the two of them get in a fight over payment for the funeral and ASAP's
right.
Well, allegedly, right after the fight and the shooting, about an hour later, Relly goes back to the scene to go look for the casings, goes, finds them, picks them up, and 2 days later makes a police report and brings them to the cops. All of the evidence comes from the victim himself. Never in my life have I heard of a case where the victim goes back to the scene an hour later, finds shell casings, but doesn't turn it in or make a police report for 48 hours.
That's insane. So if I'm hearing you correctly, we were talking earlier about, this is probably going to be some of the best lawyering on Wednesday that we've ever seen. Are you telling me that ASAP Rocky's team, his law team, as well as Rihanna, has reason to be concerned now because of this new evidence?
I think it's really crooked of the prosecution, right, of the state to do this. There is room for concern because we don't even know what this new ballistics testing is going to say. We don't know about it at all. Oh, and significantly, it's important to note this same victim has a pending civil lawsuit against ASAP Rocky, where I believe he's asked for approximately $30 million.
Gee whiz.
Claiming that the bullet grazed his hand and his knuckles were impacted and his hand's permanently disabled. Although he chased him down the street, right? If a man chases me, shoots me in my hand, I'm not chasing him down the street because what I'm going to do when I find you, I can't punch you. You shot my hand. So it's all of that.
This is going to be interesting. Yeah. So let me ask you this. I went to Sephora one day and I got some lip balm and it had Fenty on it. Okay. But when I went to the counter and purchased it, I learned that the lip balm, the male products for Fenty are actually owned. Rihanna gifted them or made ASAP Rocky part owner. Is Fenty, the cosmetic line, exposed if he's attached to it like this?
Great question. No, because what will happen is if this gentleman were to win a civil case and get an order, then it will attach to ASAP's. First, give ASAP a chance to pay it, and then second, attach to his assets. It's probably owned as an LLC, so it would only be able to attach to whatever that LLC pays ASAP as his salary or his money.
All right, everybody. This is why we love Simone Redwine and glad to have you back. Thank you for that update. All right, first on our docket, Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag, the reality TV couple who've built their careers on drama are now suing over their Los Angeles mansion destroyed in a wildfire. They're pointing the finger at the builders, claiming the negligence for failing to install proper fireproofing measures. But critics are asking, is this a fight for justice or just a calculated grab for payday? All right, let's take a look, Bailiff.
Some demonic monster just wrote on my IG and tagged me that, of course, Spencer's gonna milk his burned down house for every dollar it's worth. A duh. That's right. Let me figure out every dollar I can get. How do you people not have brains? Are you just the stupidest living creatures? Of course, I'm trying to get money to pay for my life with my family because our house and all of our possessions burned down. And if I can do it on social media, which I've been making the only money I've made for years now, continuously showing my journey of our house burning down and all of our possessions, do you not think I'm going to keep milking it for every dollar? I'd rather have my house and no social media. Let me tell you that much. I'd rather have everything in my house and delete all these stupid apps. I would much rather that. So yes, I will continue milking our misery on social media. Okay, it's a minute and 2 seconds, 50 seconds. Bye.
It's something about him saying milking it that makes it worse, in my opinion. Even if you do show everything about your life, it's something about the word milking. All right, we're going to throw to you, Attorney Turner. Tell me this: when you hear what he's saying, right? What does he have to prove in order to hold the builders liable? We talked about Wednesday. We're going to start seeing a whole bunch of people coming forward and suing a whole bunch of people. What does he have to prove in order to show negligence as it relates to the builder?
So in this case, Montag and Pratt, they're trying to grasp at any straw they can to assert a theory of liability that'll get them paid. The builder may be one of those that they're seeking it from. They are documented definitely as seeking it from the municipality and the fire department. And so even though Heidi Montag and Spencer Pratt at one time were among the most hated reality stars out until they came out with like Real Housewives of Atlanta and New York and all the other ones where they decided to hate them more, because they were known to be flighty and offensive and trying to get money and all of the things that make folks not like people. In this case, though, even if he said it inartfully, he's absolutely right. So their home was not insured. It got dropped from insurance by the prior insurance company because they it wasn't insured. So they have no recourse to recoup their belongings and rebuild this home other than what they have in the bank. And most people don't have enough money in the bank to rebuild their house, which is why they have insurance. So the theories of negligence that they're asserting are, one, the fire department didn't have enough, the municipality didn't have enough water for the fire department to use in order to battle the fire, right? The theories against the builders would be that they didn't use appropriate materials to make the house fireproof, even though it was in a fire zone, and they relied upon them to build them a safe home and to protect their family, and therefore they breached their duty to them by not building it appropriately. So they're and I imagine, as we talked the other day, that other people will be asserting claims like this as well, because a lot of these folks didn't have insurance. And so it's one of the most heartbreaking things imaginable that you lose everything and then you don't have the same recourse that other people would have if they were in the same position.
All right. So, Attorney Weiss, if I hear this correctly, if this actually goes over, we're going to see stricter building codes, right? Builder codes as it relates to developing and redeveloping.
I live here in Florida, right? My house is 10 years old. So after Hurricane Andrew hit Miami, all of the building codes changed down here in South Florida. You have to have certain things for your roof. You have to have your second floor needs to your first floor needs to be cinder block. You can't have wood. You have to have certain windows. You have to have certain things. So I don't know if they're going to make them like fire retardant homes or homes with drop cloths or homes with this kind of stuff. I guess my question is, and I don't have the answer, and they tell you in law school, never ask a question unless you know the answer. And that's why they're all laughing. But where's FEMA, right?
Right.
FEMA comes out every single time there's a hurricane, there's a natural disaster. Now, because these are arson, is FEMA not coming out? I don't know the answer, but some sort of government agency will eventually step up to the plate and will do this, just like Louisiana got. Florida's gotten numerous times. They
Trump
have
said that he thinks they should have to figure it out for themselves. He said that we shouldn't use FEMA anymore and states should have to figure it out for themselves. Now, we know this is simply retaliation for California not going for him, because if this were a state that voted for him, they would have all the resources they needed on day one.
And we saw that Biden and Kamala, they said that they're going to give all the resources that are needed to help them rebuild. All right, let's get to some of these comments. Afra Singh says some of those developers build huge paper mache mansions. Danielle Cameron says, this whiteness is above my care level. This white privileged business that don't concern me. Miss P says, I think Simone and Shannon Sharp would be a cute and powerful couple. Simone, sign a DM.
Okay, I'll do it, but help me out. You let him know too. Send him my picture.
Natural Heart says, is it arson that has started all these fires? And we'll close it out with Sir Benjamin says, hey, Judge Al, Attorney Weiss, Attorney Turner. Hey, pretty girl. Happy Friday, Attorney Redwine. And Tarir Williams said, yes, Florida changed its codes. My family members had to change things on their house, cost them more money. Oh, this is so sad. All right. Well, maybe it's the messenger instead of the message, right? It's because it's coming from those two very controversial media-seeking whores.
Yep.
And even though they've gone through a tragic event, we're kind of not sure, right? We don't know. Our empathy level is not that great for them because we know they always are trying to take advantage of something to get media and stay relevant.
Well,
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
He described it. The language that he used screamed entitlement. That said, that should not carry the day, right? There should be an analysis about the legitimacy of the claims, and whether you like him or not, he may have a point. This whole inadequate water and inadequate fire department issue has been swirling since the first set of fires, because it was foreseeable that there were going to be fires based on past occurrences, and the fact that they would cut those resources based on budgets, maybe there were other things they should have cut, like snow removal in Southern California, right?
I think they ran out of water in about 12 hours, which is unheard of. And I think part of the problem is also that, you have all these houses that are worth all of, this money. Each house is, 10, 12, $14 million. They all burn down. You're looking at $1 billion plus in homes. Where are they getting that money? I mean, President Trump could, float a loan maybe to help all of these people out. And, maybe they'll vote for him the third time. Oh, wait, I'm giving too much of the next story.
Right, absolutely. All right, next up, Donald Trump is once again rewriting the rule book, this time with a bold proposal to allow him to run for a third term as president. Representative Andy Ogles is calling for an amendment to the Constitution to make it happen, igniting fiery debates about the future of democracy. Is this bold move to restore leadership or a dangerous step towards authoritarianism? All right, let's go to you, Attorney Simone. When this is just crazy. First of all, we called this before he even ran, right? We said the first thing that he was going to do was announce that he's going to change the number of terms that a president could run. But if he gets another term, he's going to be damn near 90. But talk to me, Counselor Redwine, how does this speak to the 22nd Amendment?
This is what we would call Olympic gold level dick riding. Okay. That's what this is here, because this particular congressman,
representative,
representative, yeah, this congressman, he really just wants to get favor with Trump because ain't no way. So what would be required to amend the 22nd Amendment is a 2/3 vote in Congress. They ain't got it. Ain't no way. Because I believe that there will be at least one Republican in the Senate and one or two perhaps in Congress that would say no, because of the slippery slope that it would create. And then we've got all of the Democrats that would be like, hell to the no, no, no. So there is just no way with such a split, with such a partisan Congress that we have, that amendment to a U.S. Constitution, a U.S. constitutional amendment will take place. This is just not happening.
Attorney Turner, you're pretty big in politics. What would this do to the electorate?
You know,
Sorry. You want me to jump in?
That response was like from the heart.
Yes. Yeah, but let Attorney Weiss go in because he's passionate and I want to hear what he has to say.
Look, and one of the comments, it was just in there. It was, if he can run a third time, so can Obama and every other living president. And that's not how this proposal is going to work. What the proposal is that he was one on, then he was one off, and then he should be able to do two consecutive. So any president that was two consecutive or did two could not. So I guess maybe if you had a president who was only in there for one term and then re-ran and then was elected again. So I think right now, as it stands, the only one that could possibly do that would be Biden. And I don't see him making it 12 more years. So, you know,
why wouldn't Obama be able to?
Because Obama had two consecutive terms. He won two.
Oh, that's right. Biden only had one. Okay.
Right. Biden had one. And I don't think there's any other president that's living that only had one and then out. and that,
with George Bush, first one.
The second?
Yeah. The first one. Yeah, because he did one
but
term.
He's not going to be able to be president. Christopher Lieberman says he could be president a third time in hell.
Well, the thing is,
Venetia Phillips says, get GTF out of here. Ain't no way. Only Obama should be able to get a third term. He's so disgusting. I hate that orange, big stomach disgrace of a human being.
He doesn't want to run against Obama. That's why it's so it's worded in this way. It's not about not having term limits. It's about, as Attorney Weiss indicated, that if you don't get reelected the second time, you should get another bite of the apple to be able to start over and to do two consecutive terms.
Right.
So
I think you're right, Simone. I think this is a media play. This is the ultimate example of dick riding, or whatever you call it.
That's it.
All right. Balls. He's put up by Trump because, as Attorney Redwine indicated, the president actually doesn't have a role in the constitutional amendment process. So he had to have someone do his bidding. And this guy, has anyone heard of this guy before? No. Because
I've never heard of him.
He's trying to make a name for is this. But I got to say that, you know, the one lesson I think we can all learn from Trump, and you know I'm trying to learn some lessons right now in my personal life, is do not be constrained by the rules. Up until now, every other president, Roosevelt,
I know, forget the fact that the rules are the Constitution. We don't need to follow the Constitution. What? What's the Constitution?
Suggestions.
Yeah. It's that piece of paper that he wipes his. Never mind.
Right. Deliver Washington says Trump is losing his damn mind. All right, everybody, I need your help. Please hit that like button. The likes just aren't liking. Also, please hit that subscribe button. If you've already subscribed, please hit the share button. Don't forget to turn on your notifications. And as always, keep the comments coming, because guess what? We can't get enough of it. All right, Yankees icon Mariano. I got it. Yankees Mariano Rivera has always been a symbol of excellence. Well, until now, he and his wife are facing accusations of covering up sexual abuse within their church, with victims claiming they were silenced by Rivera's influence. This scandal has rocked not just the church, but also the sports world, leaving fans questioning if heroes still exist. All right, Attorney Weiss, I'm going to throw this to you because this is down in Florida.
And Mariano Rivera, it was and remains one of my favorites. Enter Sandman, and that's where it gets in. And I want to be very, very clear. He's not being sued. He is not named. He and his wife are accused of failing to take appropriate action by handling the allegations internally to avoid scrutiny and a public scandal and all of that. So he is not being accused of doing the wrong. He is accused of knowing about it and trying to resolve it without a public outcry. Right or wrong?
Hold on. That still would expose him and his wife on the civil side. So he might not have any criminal consequences or ramifications, but he could definitely have, it could be financial penalties if he's sued on the civil side for suppressing abuse allegations, right?
100%. And it will probably get to that because he's got deep pockets. He's got a big name. I'm very curious to see how his PR team is going to handle this. I'm sure his defense team will handle it just fine, but I'll be very curious because he's a gentleman that stayed out of the press. Even when he had contract issues with the Yankees and all of that, he always kept his mouth shut. He always gives back. He's always trying to do what he thinks is right. And I think we're going to hear a lot. And I'm a true believer in him, and I apologize for any bias, but I think we're going to hear a lot. And, him trying to maybe do the right thing, maybe we're going to hear how he tried to do the right thing.
So tell me exactly what happened in this case. So they go to church, him and his wife. I can imagine that they're very active. He's very spiritual. He donates a lot of money. He gives back through his church initiatives, millions of dollars. What exactly happened? Are they saying that he intentionally did not bring the information forward?
So my understanding, and again, I'm just pushing pieces together because there's a lot of things that they're not releasing right now. Because this supposedly, a young victim was abused by an older minor girl. Who's been identified as just letters MG in 2018, having to do with a summer internship that was supported by their church. And supposedly it was reported, and somebody came in, Rivera and his wife, supposedly, and they kind of tried to just put all this to rest and get it stopped. That's all we really know. They're talking about child abuse from one minor child against another minor child, and that was covered up.
Gotcha. All right, Heather Elliott said the church's insurance should cover liability, right, Attorney Redwine?
Very good. Yes, Heather, that is absolutely correct. Yep.
How is that possible?
So there are policies for things like this. So churches, AAU basketball teams, sports teams, and schools, not public schools, but private schools, they have elements of their general liability insurance that where it defines that personal injuries that are covered, one of which can be assaults on children.
Okay, Attorney Turner, what were you saying? My apologies.
I just wanted to ask, that's how come people were able to get so much money from the Catholic Church, is because those were all insurance policies that were tapped into the Catholic Church, the Boy Scouts, this stuff like that.
And the Riveras can say, we did nothing wrong. We want to pay nothing. And the insurance company is going to say, great, thank you. We understand. And we're going to do what we want. So you can't just take a settlement from an insurance company and say, aha, they did it. The Riveras could say, we want to fight this till the end of the world. They have no say.
Right.
The only way to do it would be cut the insurance and we'll defend it on our own.
Got it. Okay.
Well, it depends. Sometimes the insurance policy might be written to give them the right of refusal. Most insurance policies have been changed because it's too much trouble with that. But there were some relic policies where the insured could decide whether or not they were going to defend or not based on their potential reputational damage. Since he's a public figure, query whether he negotiated that with the insurance company. But I think that there's some vulnerability in a couple of ways. One, the fact that there are two minors suggest that there could have been some misguided intentions to protect the older minor as well that resulted in this not being revealed publicly, right? So
Who is the lady?
that's his wife.
That's his wife.
Oh Lord. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
True love. It's true
What's
love,
Shoshana
Your
saying?
Honor.
That-
It's true love.
That's a starter wife turned permanent wife. This is the only wife.
True love.
Ooh,
That's what happens when you
nice.
don't have a prenup.
But
No prenup?
No,
No.
Wow.
he don't believe in it.
That's insane.
And
He always came across as that type of guy. He was such an upstanding individual.
And still is.
Right.
and handsome. But so, and there's a complicated aspect to this case too, as Attorney Weiss indicated. This whole internship thing is also why they're kind of like exposed, because my understanding is that they convinced this girl's family to allow her to do this internship, right? Whatever that was as a minor, I'm not even sure. It's not like she was in college. And so she was away from home. Something happens.
No, it
supposed
wasn't to her. She was the one that did it to the little boy.
No,
No,
it was
they're both-
two minors.
Two
So
minor
it's probably like a camp counselor and a camper is basically the equivalent.
Right.
Of
So
what it
is it the one that did the aggressing a female?
Both,
Yes.
yes, both.
Yes.
Both
And
females.
who did
It
she
was
aggress?
little girls. They might
A
just be
little
gay.
girl. Yeah, it was a
Ooh.
little girl. Yeah, it's a little girl, and that's what I'm saying. That's a complicating factor, because the little girl they were describing as being on the internship, and they convinced her parents to allow her to go. Right, while she's down there, I'm not sure what she's learning. But then the older minor has
Said, come here, let me show you something in the broom closet. I got something to show
Right.
you.
I didn't go to sleepaway camp, but I heard about band camp. So let me tell you, this one time at band camp.
Right. And the younger one calls her mom and says something that gives her concern. And so then the mom calls the pastors, the Riveras, and says, can you look into it, expecting to get a report. And from what she indicates is that when they got information, they tried to cover it up. And then then they go home, right? MG and the younger minor are home. And then it says the Riveras have a barbecue where they invite children only and don't invite parents. And instead of watching the minor girl who had already been abused by this MG, they leave them alone, and MG goes in again. And
This
so
is a lot going on. Like, first of all, I don't think I would have allowed my daughter to go back to the scene of crime.
Never.
She's petrified.
Never.
She's like, bring it on, sister. Here's another opportunity.
Yeah.
I got a 15-year-old daughter. Nope.
It's questionable to me that they're saying that, oh, the husband and wife covered it up. Covered up what? Did you go to the police? Was there a police report? Did they try to have the police not take a report? Because people want to blame everybody, but not do their due diligence, which is going to the police, creating the report. Because what does happen is if you tell me you don't want to handle it with the police, then I am going to handle it internally. I'm going to handle it amongst us churchgoers, because it's which one that you want.
I agree with Janet. Hunter. Janet Hunter said, sorry.
No, I was going to say, one thing that wasn't clear to me, Attorney Redwine, when I read it, was whether or not the mom was aware of everything as it came, right? So I think she got the call initially, thought they were going to find out. And I got the impression that maybe she didn't fully understand what happened until after the barbecue. And then she knew, that was at least what.
But this all happened in 2018. This is now being brought out in 2024, 2025. And I understand, it's a lot is coming out these days with all of these things, with P. Diddy and all of that. But again, why did you sit for 7 years and not
It
say
sounds like to me, Jason, that probably they didn't get the settlement that they were expecting. They're pushing for more. They knew who to attach their names to. They know for a fact that he's not going to let his legacy as a hero go down. That he'll probably throw them a couple of bucks to make it all go away. And that's just sad because he's one of the good ones, at least what I could tell. Janet Hunter says, sounds like a money grab. Tanya Kelly says, some children that have been molested sometimes try to molest other children. That's right. That's what they say. I know a case like that. Takara Tucker says, I need church folks to stop trying to pray away sexual abuse. So sad. Daphne says, put them in there with Diddy, the parents too. It's something like
don't forget the baby oil.
Diddy has
Sir Benjamin said, I just got a headache from Attorney Turner explaining all of this case. Tylenol, please. Toria Williams says, can you all hit the like button, please, and share the video to social media? Subscribe if you're not. Oh, thank you, Toria Williams. We need that. SL says they believe it's a money grab as well. All right, next up. Another athlete in the news from Florida. NFL legend Warren Sapp is taking the Tampa Police Department to court, claiming he was unlawfully arrested in an incident fueled by racial profiling. He's asking for $20 million in damages and in the process putting a spotlight on law enforcement practices. Bailiff, let's see this video.
How fast was he going?
I don't know.
That would be technical to her talking about doubling, right? So her talking about doubling the speed limit, right?
I don't know. She's writing the ticket.
No, I just heard her say that.
But I was. I understand that, like I said, with the amount, with the amount of traffic, I'm trying to educate you, man. And
It's okay.
The amount of traffic that's coming
And
from
Shar,
town,
we got this.
It's not double 35.
All gentlemen got this.
63 is what I got him on my
That's
radar.
not double
Go ahead
35,
and take it to court because it's
No, it's not double, but you were saying
But
doubling the
you're
speed
almost- but you're
limit. You
almost
didn't double it.
Okay, but
30,
you're
you'd have a
going over the
mandatory
speed limit.
I got that, but you said doubling the speed limit and you didn't double the speed limit.
Okay, well,
There's
I
no
got
reason
it.
to exaggerate it when you got the
Well, I
number.
got it, and I wrote for what I got.
I
Was
got you, but
63.
you said out your
Okay,
mouth
so
doubling
I
the
said
speed
what I
limit.
said, but I didn't write them for double. Then I wrote them for
No,
what I
but
got.
what you're saying is incorrect.
But just for future reference, through this
Just
time,
like to be
it's
correct,
35.
that's
When you
all.
go over the oversight,
Factual. Hold on, I'll stop at what? No, they ain't do that. What you telling me to do what? What do you mean? Stop what? I'm dead at
All right,
shit.
thank you, Bailiff.
Dead at shit.
Why did they arrest him? That's what I want to know, because he was talking back. Why did they arrest him? Because he was talking back. They didn't like what he was saying. Attorney Weiss, take it from here.
So, basically they were saying that he was interfering and obstructing justice, and that he was told to be quiet and he didn't listen. Supposedly, and that we don't see it, the officer lost her temper and put handcuffs on him and claims that he was being detained. Look, we all saw the video. It was clear he didn't commit a crime. He didn't do anything.
Right.
He was questioning. He probably at some point in time, it's just common sense, maybe could have backed away. They probably should have given him a warning, but they probably didn't want to do that. And again, one of the things that needs to be stated right now is that he has all of the charges in the arrest dropped. They found no reason to do it. So basically it supports the fact that this arrest was crap. It should never have happened. Shouldn't have been there. And look, at some point in time, you're allowed to question a police officer, right? And at no point in time was he aggressive? Was he doing anything? Just as opposed to the runner on South Beach, right? That guy was getting up in the face of all the officers and yelling and doing all this. Warren Sapp, other than the fact that he is a large gentleman, there was nothing intimidating. He was calm. He was,
and he stepped back. He stepped back.
You got it.
He wasn't
But
stepping
it's
in her
really
face.
black.
Yeah, that's right. I think someone said that. Someone said right here.
But that's racial profiling, and that's crap, and
Yeah.
it shouldn't be done. And that's
Hold
what
on.
he's suing for.
Hold on 1 second, guys. I beat the shit said he forgot he was black. Takara Tucker said, "Don't talk in Tampa. You're going to jail." All right, Simone, let me ask you this, because you've dealt with these type of cases before. If you were representing Warren Sapp, can you countersue? Because obviously this is bad. This is bad on his character. Like it really is ruining his ability, especially considering the job that he has now in coaching.
So when you say countersue, what do you mean? Would the
Like,
cops
can he sue them for racial profiling? Could he sue them for like wrongful?
Yeah, so that is. Do
He
you want
is.
to, Jason? Do you want to break down that $20 million lawsuit fight we got?
So, I mean, basically, they're suing the Okeechobee Sheriff's Department, which is where Tampa is located, for the wrongful arrest. And that is what he is suing for. Racial profiling, local wrongful arrest. Supposedly, the ACLU is getting involved in this case and backing him. And this is just another one of these completely. This is the worst, right? We saw Tyreek Hill, which was bad, but Tyreek opened his mouth and he was an idiot, and he was, "I'm invincible, I'm the cheetah, you can't touch me." Okay, I understand. And then we saw the runner down in South Beach also. You know, he actually provoked the police, so I see that one. This one, he was just a gentleman standing there asking some questions. Right. And he made a fool out of that officer for saying something incorrect, and she didn't like it, and that was it. And this is, I'm all Warren Sapp. Look, as a Giants fan, I could never root for the man. I'm rooting for him this time.
That's right. Bernice Johnson said that female police was just as large as Warren.
Yeah, she'd been having lots of donuts. It looked like. I mean, I agree.
I want to know if she's on administrative leave.
For a $20 million lawsuit, I'm sure that's not all she's on.
Because not only were the charges dropped, but they were dropped within days. That is quick.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I agree with Attorney Weiss's legal analysis. And as I was watching that video, all I could think about is before I was a lawyer, when I was just a little black girl growing up in Rochester, New York, with my black grandmother who grew up in Georgia. And she would say, if you hang out with all those white people, you better be on your best behavior, because if something goes down, you're going to be the one who gets in trouble. So I agree with the person in the comments who said Warren forgot he was black. I mean, that white man who was getting the ticket, he seemed like he was fine. That woman was wrong. You don't need to always interject yourself and your opinion. Now, I'm not excusing what the police officers did by any means, but we have learned over the years that racism with the police exists, and it's disproportionately administered against black men. So I'm not even sure. I mean, he had the bad fashion choice that day with the shirt. I don't know if it clouded his judgment and thought that he should just be talking back to the cops and trying to educate them about how they should write a speeding ticket. But for the algoriters out there, here's what I recommend. Assert your rights when you are in a safe place and not at the mercy of the police.
I agree.
Especially when you're in a crowd of all police in Tampa, and every single one of those police officers are similar looking to me.
Absolutely.
All I'm going to say.
That right there is really, really sad. All right, everybody. Yep, Blake Lively's back. Hollywood isn't all glitz and glam. Sometimes it's all about the lawsuits. Haven't we learned that? Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are filing for a gag order. Yep, you heard me correctly. A gag order against Justin Baldoni in a case filled with allegations of harassment and defamation. What started as a professional collaboration gone wrong has turned into a public spectacle, and both sides are fighting for control and narrative. Algoriters, take a look and tell me, do you feel like Baldoni was sexually assaulting Blake Lively? Bailiff?
I'll never know in slow motion.
Noses. And my nose is so big.
Yes, I was hoping that we could address this. It's not too late. Just gotta shut down. We gotta call an insurance month and just deal with that.
Yeah.
And then
God.
just kidding.
No, it's true. That's why we hired Jenny Slate too. Our noses.
I don't know, guys. I'm on the fence on this. If she was just so disgusted and thought that he was doing too much, that was the conversation that you heard was behind the scenes of them just acting, right? And it sounded very cordial, sound very friendly, sound very sexual, if you ask me, or intensely engaging, if you ask me. All right, I'm gonna go to you, Shatan. What is really going on?
I think that this case indicates just that it's going to keep going and going and going. This is going to be the Energizer Bunny case, and we're going to be talking about this probably as much as Diddy because it is hot, it is passionate, and there's a dispute of facts. And so the gag order from Blake and Ryan Reynolds suggests that they think that these things in the media are going to influence a jury and they won't be able to have a fair trial, and they want the evidence to be played out in a controlled forum. Here's what I will say, though. As a woman who has been hit on and experienced, harassment of various sorts at work, I wouldn't read that much into how she interacted with him because her job, right? And she's a pro, was to be an actress. And there are other parts of that movie where she was being abused and was supposed to be hostile towards him. But that was a time when she was supposed to be friendly and romantic. And so if she was appearing to be hostile, she wouldn't have been doing her job. So she could have just been checking whatever unwanted thing there was and waiting until it was proper for her to assert it. So I think that it would be unfair. And that's why they don't want these things portrayed in the media separate from the trial. I think it'd be unfair to say, oh, because she was giggling and talking to him that she wasn't hostile, because she could have, right? Are we expecting to say, you know what? I can't fucking stand you, right? Like that, yeah, and then expect it not to show, right? She's playing along with the vibe they were supposed to be having in the film. It's not like they caught them in the trailer, right? Where they weren't filming. This was being filmed. So
I don't know, Attorney Turner. Usually you make a lot of sense on these panels, but not tonight as it relates to this story. Just not feeling it. I just feel like that looks so organically real and engaging, and it didn't look like she spent like horrific days and nights on the set being abused by a man, and she tried to draw a line in the sand and he kept crossing it and kept crossing it and kept crossing it. That scene to me just didn't give me that. And I think if he's able to produce more video like that, it's going to erode Blake Lively's stance that she was basically very afraid to go on the set and do her job because she felt like that she was constantly being sexually assaulted. I just didn't see that. What do you think, Attorney Redwine?
I think this is very stupid. I think she's being penalized for being a good actress. I also, as an actress, I can tell you, when you're in character, you don't just in character when they say cut. You remain in character. You can be in character for hours. Some people take character home with them. It can become a thing. But also, the whole thing about a retaliatory environment and this and that is like, in the entertainment industry, it's very different, because if you don't finish your project, you don't get paid.
Right.
And if you make the set awkward, you're the one that's going to suffer. I think it should be important that as we consider whether or not she liked it, whether or not this was truly this type of environment. One thing I hung my hat on is the fact that she waited until the movie was completely done and even promos were done. This is critical because it shows me she did not want to ruin the movie. She didn't want to ruin the experience. She didn't want to ruin its ability to make money, because there's a lot of people counting on it, right? If she would have done what some people said in the audience, she should have complained right then and there. She could have been replaced. We have seen where people have been replaced mid-movie. The rest of the movie would have been awkward. Right. She could have been blackballed. So it is not simply as easy as you complain, right? There is no HR in this industry.
Right. So that's true.
I give her credit for waiting until it was over to file what needed to be filed, because there's no way her and him would have been able to travel and do the press tour that was required if she had expressed her true concerns.
Don't like your answers either. Sorry.
Should I not chime in?
Don't like your answer either. Thank you for coming back. Christopher Lieberman says, "Oh my God, guys, they didn't release this video for fun. She made a direct claim about him being abusive in this scene. He released it to counter her claim." Well, if he can continue to release videos like that to counter her claim, I think it's going to be very hard for her to convince any jury that she stayed in the character. That's just me. It's nothing against women, nothing against her claim. It's just I need to see some proof where she's feeling uncomfortable, looking uncomfortable, like she didn't want to be there. And then maybe I'll have more empathy. So in the court of public opinion, for me, she's not there yet, as far as I'm concerned.
I just want to say one thing. Go ahead, Attorney Turner.
No, I was going to say, Your Honor, you didn't give enough weight, I don't think, to Attorney Redwine's point about the longevity of Blake Lively's career, right?
Oh, no, I did. I'm just telling you from an outsider looking in, the court of public opinion, I'm not convinced yet. I completely understand standing the character. I completely understand getting the project to the finish line so that you can get paid. Blake Lively knows that better than anybody. I completely get it. But when we're talking about a defamation case, an assault case, both of these actors, especially against the director, if this leads out on her behalf, his career in Hollywood is pretty much done. It's done. So I just want to make sure that we see evidence to prove all the claims that are brought forward. What were you going to say, Attorney Weiss?
I was just going to say, look at Johnny Depp. He's a character. He's an actor that stayed in character for 10 years, right? He was Captain Jack Sparrow forever and ever and ever. Right. And he did it. The other thing is, what I find the most troubling of this whole thing, I actually watched that show on Netflix. And the message behind it was that, enough is enough with abusing women and taking advantage of women. And it was a very strong and powerful message. And all of this that's going on is taking away from that message. And I find it sad.
Right.
As a father of a little girl.
Yeah. Let's go to some of the comments. Carol G said, Al, give it a rest. Attorney Turner explained it very well. It's acting. She's all right, Carol. Calm down, baby. Just say it. Just giving my opinion. All right. Melina NC said, women always have to suck it up. Nope. Not asking her to suck it up. That's not what I'm saying. Oh, look, the tide has changed, though. Toria Williams says the video lost her case for me. Sorry, she is wrong. Christopher Lieberman says it's acting on his part. He was professional as ASF. Christopher Lieberman said, I agree, Turi. Lady Shell said Blake is wrong on all levels. That's coming from Lady Shell. And then Christopher Lieberman says, yes, Lady Shell. Lady Shell also said her and her husband are bullies. I have heard that. That's true. All right. And then Keisha Elon says, please look at the actual evidence. Blake looks guilty, actually, like she bullied him and took over the movie. Allegedly, this is actually Ryan Reynolds doing. Oh, do the research. All right. We're going to listen to you guys. Sounds like you have.
You got to read Carol G. Women fake it all the time. We're very convincing. The only difference is she's getting paid to do it.
Oh my God, that was a topic on one of the morning shows this morning. Yeah. All right, here we go. Now this is what I've been waiting for, and I can't wait to get the inside information from our Simone Redwine. Finally, Jay-Z is facing escalating legal drama over an alleged assault at the 2000 MTV VMAs. With new lawyers joining the case, the plaintiff is doubling down, but Jay-Z maintains that the claims are completely unfounded. The question is, can a decade allegation derail one of the biggest names in entertainment? All right, Attorney Simone Redwine, talk to us. What's going on? And talk to me about, is the statute of limitations not an issue because of the new act which allowed people to come back? How does that play in this particular case?
Yeah, so basically the plaintiff here has until March of this year to file her lawsuit. So statute of limitations is not an issue. This is still the Jane Doe lawsuit that we're referring to, with both Diddy and Jay-Z involved. Well, Jay-Z is now going for the jugular. He has filed not just a motion to dismiss, but also a motion for sanctions against Tony Busby. In other words, he wants the whole case dismissed. And once it's dismissed, he's asking not for the slow lady, that's Jane Doe, she's slow, a little bit slow, not for her to pay his legal fees, but that Tony Busby has to pay his legal fees. And likely after that's done, he's also going to want Tony Busby to have to go before the Texas bar and or the New York bar to defend his actions in filing this suit.
So wait a minute, but see, this has got a new lawyer. This has got some traction. Tell me, what does that mean with the case? Because it doesn't seem like that Jay-Z is going to make this go away as easily as we thought he was going to be able to make this go away.
You're right. So when you say he has a new lawyer, I want to be clear. What judge means here is that it is Tony Busby himself hired attorneys to represent him in this case. That's because he knows that there is this pending motion for sanctions. So what happens is when there is a chance that there's a conflict of interest between you and your client, then at that point, you need separate representation. So what Tony Busby has done is he's brought in another law firm to both assist him with the plaintiff's case, but also to separately represent Tony Busby and Tony Busby's interest so that Tony doesn't have to pay sanctions.
Got it. Okay, got it. All right. So it's so funny how nowadays you have to really understand the headlines, right? Because it makes something completely different, which was smart, because what Jay-Z did was smart as well. All right, Tanya Kelly said, Al, I saw you on TV last night. You and your ex went to Donald Trump's wedding to Melania. Yep, I sure did. And they came to my wedding.
Yep.
The Trumps
they were there.
Trumps back in those days were totally different than the Trumps that I know now.
I got a question for Attorney Redwine. Do you know if I'm assuming this is in New York? Do they have like a safe harbor time period? And do you want to explain with the sanctions motion? And do you want to explain to the viewers what that is?
Yeah, a safe harbor time with the sanctions motion. Well, the case is still ongoing, so I don't know that would need to be applicable, but I'd love for you to explain it to the audience.
So the safe harbor letter, at least here in Florida, and that's where I practice, would be that anytime you want to go sanctions against the attorney or the other side, you have to send them a letter, even if the case is pending. And it gives them 21 days to pull back that pleading in that paper. So here in Florida, if this were in Florida, Jay-Z's attorneys would have had to send Busby, hey, look, we're going to file this motion for sanctions against you. You have 21 days to pull it back. Otherwise, we're filing it. So I was just curious if Busby had that opportunity in New York or Texas like you would here in Florida.
So Texas does not require that or have that option. I don't know about New York.
Okay.
This is interesting. This is interesting because as hard as Jay-Z is trying to make this go away, that Busby dude is not making it easy. He's keeping them in the headlines, and I find that crazy interesting. Good strategy. Both of them are using great strategy. All right, everybody, please hit that like button. Also, hit that subscribe button. Yes. I'm sorry?
A proposal. You have a proposal in the comments, and I'm not sure if you noticed.
Let's see. Who?
After Singh.
After Singh said, y'all going to come to me and Al's wedding?
Oh, hey, girl. Yes.
Al says, yeah, and I want to Al's kids. I think he'd be a good dad. I'd be a great father. I'm looking for someone to create some kids with. So.
Dude, you are an amazing uncle. I know a lot of your nephews. You'd be a phenomenal father.
You'd have to be the primary parent. I'd have eggs in the refrigerator. You'd have to be the primary parent. I'll come get them every other weekend.
All right, everybody, this is a part of the show where we go back and, well, first of all, we're going to see if there are any questions. I don't think we have any questions, right? But if we don't have any questions, okay, cool. All right, so this is part of the show where we give our verdict on the cases that we've covered. First up, and yep, you heard me correctly. First up is Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag. Are they guilty or not guilty of doing too much as it relates to getting their money for their lost home? Attorney Turner, what say you?
They're guilty of doing too much in social media. They could have just sued and let the legal system take care of it, but they're also trying to milk it, as he said, and that was turning it a one step too far.
Right. Attorney Weiss?
I'm going to buy the man a cow and ship it to him so he can milk the cow.
Attorney Redwine?
Hey, once I found out they had no insurance, baby, you better shuck and jive. You need all the points you can get.
You need all you can do. All right, I'm the judge here at Celebrity Court. We're going to find him guilty. Guilty. Nowadays, insurance companies, when they are going through your social media and watching you do these stories, they're looking for reasons to deny you. He needs to shut the hell up until he gets his freaking money. That's what you need to do, sir, mister. Be quiet. All right, because calling it milking it gives it a different twist and a different sound that sounds somewhat shady to me. It has nothing to do with what you really lost. All right, next up, Trump in his third term. Is he guilty of trying to overturn the Constitution and democracy? Attorney Redwine, what say you?
Guilty. Yes, he's guilty.
Attorney Weiss?
So usually Trump is guilty of everything, but I don't think he is guilty of this one. He is guilty of having puppets that are guilty of this.
All right, Attorney Turner.
I'm going to assign all the guilt to him. Every time I see his face, guilty just appears across his forehead.
Right. All right, I'm Al, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court, and he's guilty, and that congressman is stupid and guilty as well. Being a little puppet, you little puppet.
Yep.
You little lawn jockey. Anyway, next up, Mariano Rivera. Is he and his wife guilty or not guilty of not coming forward with the information that could have saved the little girl's abuse? Attorney Redwine?
He's not guilty. Not guilty of it. That's just a strong accusation. I need more facts. Not guilty.
Me too. All right, Attorney Weiss?
Not guilty, need a lot more facts.
Attorney Turner?
It's unanimous, not guilty.
Yeah, I'm Al, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court. We're going to say not guilty. This man has given so much to his community, and not just with time, but with millions of dollars. We need more facts. We're going to find him not guilty. Not guilty. And I'm sorry that this has happened to your daughter, ma'am, but please leave the Sapps out. Please leave Rivera's out of it. Next up, Warren Sapp. Is Warren Sapp guilty or not guilty of following the law? Attorney Turner, what say you?
Warren Sapp is not guilty. Yeah, and I hope he gets the money.
Right. Attorney Weiss?
She said it perfect. Perfect.
Attorney Redwine?
Agreed. Not guilty.
All right, I'm Al, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court. I'm going to find him not guilty too, and I hope just to prove a point, I hope he gets a large sum of money, and maybe the insurance of the police force has to pay it. Probably not $20 million.
No, they would. That's exactly what it's for. It's for wrongful arrest. It's for excessive force. It's exactly for these situations. Yep.
But probably not 20 million.
Probably not
Correct.
20 million.
No,
Yeah.
no.
He'll probably walk away with what, like one or
They
two?
didn't even kill them. People where they murder them don't get that much.
Don't get that much. Maybe at 500,000, maybe. All right, last but not least, $1 million. Yeah, they give him $1 million. All right, last but not least, Jay-Z. Is he guilty or not guilty of sidestepping these allegations? Attorney Weiss, what say you?
He is guilty of having attorneys just bill him for needless stuff. That's what I think.
Attorney Turner?
He's guilty of trying to clear his name for his family.
Right. Attorney Redwine?
Not guilty.
Yeah, I'm Al, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court, and I'm going to find Jay-Z not guilty. But I will say this. He put a question mark in my head about his actions, something about his actions, the way they attacked Busby in the beginning. I thought it was unprofessional, and unfortunately, he opened the door for a question mark for me. So I don't know what's going on, but it is causing a pause in my mind, and that isn't good. Jay-Z, get with your crisis publicity team and fix that, because that is still lingering with me. And that's not going to be good if you want this to go away and you can move forward right away. Right?
Your Honor, you hit the nail on the head. He needs a really good PR team to step in and
they got to watch this up. They got to watch this up, because that lawyer in those statements, it just created an environment that wasn't necessary. And that is exactly what Busby wanted. And it worked. I don't care if he did it or not. I'm not sure. But I know that now I'm questioning it. All right, everybody. Tonight, we've seen that in a world of fame and power, the lines between justice and drama is razor thin. From Spencer and Heidi's wildfire blame game to Jay-Z's decade-old allegations, and from Trump's third term ambitions to Warren Sapp's fight against racial profiling, these stories remind us that in the court of public opinion, no one gets off easy, obviously, right? Even if you're a billionaire. But here's the real question. Are these cases about truth and accountability, or are they distractions from the deeper issues we should be addressing? The conversation doesn't end here. It starts with you. Join us using hashtag Celebrity Court and tell us where you stand. Until next time, stay informed, stay critical, and keep demanding the justice we deserve. Good night, and court is now adjourned.